Hello, and welcome back to the Film Custodian Show. I am the Film Custodian, and I just got done watching The Rings of Power Episode 4, and it just kind of broke me. I think I've reached the breaking point, and what I mean by that is that I really don't know if I want to continue watching this. It's just plain out boring. It's terrible. It's like trying to drag a train behind you. It's just so sluggish and slow. It's crap. I want to clarify something from the last episode. The review I did for episode 3 was I talked about how Galadriel defeated a troll at the beginning of episode 1. At the very, very beginning, she defeated a troll, and why that wasn't good, right, for character development. And I compared that to when Aragorn was fighting a troll at the end of Return of the King, and he lost, and how, you know, he needed a challenge. Originally, he was going to actually fight Sauron. Sauron was going to briefly show up in his magical form, his beautiful form, and then he was going to transform back into the guy in the armor. But that just didn't, I guess they decided that didn't feel right, didn't look right. Yeah, it really wouldn't have worked, and I don't think that's accurate to the book at all, because he can't take physical form anymore, whatever, who cares? Bottom line is he fights a troll. They just changed it to a troll. And that's the build-up through his character development through Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, till you get to Return of the King. And it works. It makes sense. If you go to Galadriel fighting a troll and destroying a troll at the very, very beginning, we haven't seen her journey, then you've taken away all the threat. There's no threat. Nothing can touch her, right? The troll is a pretty big adversary, I would think. And I don't care if you're comparing this, you know, like, well, elves are, you know, they're more badass, and, you know, what about Legolas taking down a huge Mumakil and all these other things? And yeah, you could have that argument, but when your show stars the elf, you have to sort of bring them down a little bit. You have to bring them down a peg. You have to, you know, I guess I want to say humanize, even though they're elves. I actually think that's one of the big problems with this show, is that the elves are too humanized. They're not stoic enough. They're not, you know, regal enough and standing up straight and tall. They're very just like, you know, oh, you stink, and they're all in mud and stuff. And I don't know, elves can get dirty and nasty. I mean, they did that in Lord of the Rings, but like, they just don't feel like elves. They don't look like elves. The actor playing Elrond, I think, is the one doing the best job. He's the one that's only kind of regal and stoic in any sense. But even then, it just feels like he's acting. It feels like he's pretending to be an elf. But anyway, so back to Galadriel defeating the troll. By defeating one of the, you know, biggest sort of enemies that you can fight, like basically defeating the boss at, you know, if you're playing a video game and you get up to the end of the level and you got to fight the boss. She kills the boss right out of the gate. So right away it's like, oh, okay, there's no threat. The enemies aren't a threat. There's no tension. The next time she battles somebody, you know, she doesn't have anything to learn because she knows everything already. I mean, it's basically the same problem that with Rey from Star Wars, is that she doesn't learn anything. She already knows everything. So we're in Numenor. Galadriel does some stuff to piss off the queen, so then she's ordered to go to jail, and then she escapes from jail, and then there's 4 guards that show up to take her back to Middle-earth, and they're all fully clad in armor and everything, and then she, you know, she slips out of her cuffs, and she punches the one guy, and then we cut away. And we're looking at the big beard guy. I think he's the husband to the queen regent, and she's the daughter of the half-elf king up dying in the tower or whatever. And he just kind of pulls a sword and like, oh, I gotta do something or whatever. And you hear kind of clanking and punching. I don't know if this scene was supposed to be funny. It just comes off as lazy, or they didn't want to choreograph a fight scene. I mean, probably because it's not realistic. You have this shorter woman taking on 4 guards that are just huge and buff and got all this clad armor and stuff. It's just not realistic. And yeah, I know it's a fantasy show. I know it's a movie, and you're supposed to, you have a certain amount of suspension of disbelief. But this is just stupid, okay? It's not realistic at all. It's not, I can't suspend my disbelief to something that's stupid, in other words. So they cut away. They don't even show it. They don't even show her fighting these guys. And then she goes off and does some stuff, whatever. By the end, I think she's convinced the Numenorians that they need to join with her, and because she found out that that symbol that was put on her brother hundreds of years ago is actually a map to a secret location that is, they're going to actually have a place of their own. They're turning the Southlands into Mordor. None of that map stuff makes sense. It's just as stupid as when Rey has the dagger and like, oh, look at that. It magically lines up with the Death Star, and that's where the Wayfinder is. Why are we giving away all these secret locations? Like, here's the map right on top of your bride. I branded your brother with the map. What? Like, she's like, how stupid I am. I haven't figured it out. It's because... yes, you're stupid, but also the story is stupid. It's all stupid. And then we're back to the characters in the Southlands, the human characters. The kid has that hilt thing, which it must be used to like summon Sauron at some point, because an old guy is just like, oh, you ever heard of Sauron? You ever heard of Sauron? We hear a lot about this guy, but we don't see anything. Anyway, the kid ends up in a well. He's down in the well the entire time. The orcs are looking for him in very predictable ways. He turns a corner, and there's an orc. Just very predictable. There's no tension. There's nothing. They go to like a small fortress-looking place, a total ripoff of Helm's Deep. So it's pretty clear to me they're gonna have some kind of Helm's Deep battle. That Adair guy, which turned out to be just some elf guy, we didn't learn anything about him. He's completely boring like everybody else. Arendir saves the kid from the well, and then they go through the woods. There's very dramatic music playing. You're letting me down, Bear. You're letting me down. They do a very stupid slow motion fight scene where they're like running in slow motion, and then the orcs are shooting arrows, and Arondir actually catches an arrow right before it hits the kid, and then gets it in the bow and releases it. And I'm just laughing my ass off because it's just stupid. There's nothing engaging about it. It's terrible. All the action has been terrible. Back to Numenor. I think if I'm gonna say anything positive about this show right now, Numenor, where Galadriel is at, is the only good-looking place. I mean, they did a good job with Numenor. Okay, it looks pretty good. It looks like, it's a city that rose from the sea, as described in the books, and it's just it's complete with its sort of gold and blue colors, and everything is about the sea, and they're master seamen, and because they're on an island and whatnot, the armor looks really good. But I mean, when I'm focusing on that stuff, it's because your story sucks. Like, your story and your characters are that bad that I'm actually distracted by, oh, look at that, the light, how it shines through the tree. Look how awesome that is. Oh, the armor is cool. Like, you can do all of these things visually and whatnot, but if your story sucks, the whole show still sucks. It doesn't matter. You could have shitty cinematography and great storytelling. The movie will be better. So I think modern storytellers just don't know how to tell a story. Everybody knows how to do good composition. Everybody has a phone now. Everyone is a photographer. Everyone can learn about composition and lighting and the language of cinema. You can compose a beautiful shot, but in the end, if you don't know how to write compelling characters and story, your show or movie is going to fail. It's just the way it is. All right, so then we're in the wherever Durin is, with the dwarves, we're back with them. There's a cave-in. They're looking for Mithril for some reason. I think the dwarves are kind of interesting. The woman character, Durin's wife, she's actually, despite her being a total narcissist and going off in the interviews about, oh, look at me, I'm the first woman elf, or woman dwarf rather, the first woman dwarf ever to be on screen, which isn't even a thing. And she just goes on and on. It's incredibly annoying in the interviews, but then our character is decent. She's one of the only decent characters. Hey, it is what it is. Oh, Isildur got fired because he keeps getting distracted by some voice in the sunlight or something. I don't know. He's kind of he's just a chump. I don't know what's going on. Then at the end, it was Elendil was like, who will be going on the quest to Middle-earth? Who will join us? Who will join with Galadriel? And we will go across the sea. And I'll volunteer. And he just looks at me like, oh, no. So it's like it's the Hallmark family drama going on there. This is just a terrible show. Oh, there were no Harfoots. Thank God. I think that was... they have so many characters and so many storylines going on. It's all disjointed that last episode we didn't do anything with, you know, the villagers from the Southlands. This time we don't have any Harfoots. They kind of have to, you know, take turns on screen, and that's great because the Harfoots are stupid. There's absolutely no reason to have them at all, except they thought, you know, we got to have hobbits. We got to have hobbits because the hobbits were the big deal. I mean, that's the thing about Tolkien. That's the thing about the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, is that the hero is something that comes out of left field. You know, it's unexpected. Even the smallest person can change the course of the future, right? Not, you know, this person who was just running around being mad at everybody. But, so in that case, you could have done that where the real heroes are going to be the hobbits or the Harfoots, but no, they're just stupid and dumb, and who cares? Like, oh yeah, and then at one point, the guys from the last episode that Halbrand beat up, now they're all like, they want revenge, so they're like, oh, the elves are coming to our shores, they're taking our jobs. And I immediately went, really? You're really doing that? Like, come on. This is just, it's lazy writing. They don't know what else to do, so, oh, let's throw in some, and it's like, there is two factions. There's the faithful that are still, like the elves and the elves' way of life, because Numenor came from, you know, the elves, at least, like the, you have Elrond and then his brother, I think, and the brother is actually the one that went off and created Numenor and whatever. The island of Numenor was a gift from the Valinor, I believe. It was a gift from the gods for helping to, I believe, because they helped defeat Morgoth, I believe. I think. I don't know. I don't care. I mean, this show does a bad job of explaining anything anyway, and it's so unengaging and stupid, who cares? What was I saying? So yeah, and then the one beard guy comes in, takes advantage of the situation, is like, well, what are you talking about? It's just one elf. They can never destroy us because we're so awesome. We're so cool. This is just a place for men. This is great. Meaning humans, not elves, or, whatever. And then he's just like, drinks all around, wine! And then literally, like, just all these people come out with huge trays of wine and start handing it out to the people in the crowd. Where did this come from? Where did you get the wine? Where did these guys come from? He just pulls them right out of his ass. When I need wine, I get wine. Right out of my ass. Like, what? It's just so stupid. Everything about this show is garbage. Everything around it is garbage. The controversies around it, the allegations, the bad advertising, calling everyone a racist who doesn't like this show, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's just, all of it around is just stupid, and it's not fun. So, yeah, definitely just skip this show. Skip this show. Go watch Lord of the Rings. Go watch the Hobbit movies. All right, it's really hot in this garage, so I'm gonna end this video here. Please like and subscribe, and leave a comment, and please share the video. And all right, see you next time. Bye.
I mean, like, why are we even out here? We're not even making minimum wage. What are you talking about? This is great. We're in space.